Today is going to be an amazing day. So the first all-girl team from the tropical island of Treasure, Seychelles was eliminated last night. And they're going to be here live in our loft. We've got the stunning Jessica Nkosi, who's going to be chatting to us about her life, her loves, and of course, Tropical Island of Treasure, Seychelles.
Absolutely. Another person who's joining us today who's going to be talking about her life and her times is Lindy Hani, who's recently released a book about her life and times, and that's going to be quite an interesting conversation.
I cannot wait to speak to her.
Absolutely. And also, Clem recently went on an afternoon explores experiment, and he went to a place where you can make pots, a cafe where you can make your own pots.
I know. You see, I've always wanted to go and do that, but I mean, Patrick Swayze was kind of my inspiration behind that, and I can't do that anymore.
And also our social media for the question for today is quite interesting. We're asking the question, if you could pick a celebrity to represent you in court, who would it be?
Well, that's because Jessica, you know, was meant to become a lawyer. And then she didn't. Thank goodness she didn't, because now we have her as a fantastic actress. But I would choose Jenna Dover, actually, because she really is a lawyer and she's really good.
Yeah.
So out of all the celebrities to represent you in court if you did something wrong, okay, who would you choose?
I would choose Nkosi because he's so competitive.
That is a very good answer.
And he's going to win.
Okay, that's a good answer. I wouldn't choose me if I were you. But let us know on Facebook or on Twitter who you would choose.
Absolutely. Now, first up, Jessica Nkosi started her career far from the cameras with the plan to become a lawyer, but she changed her course to a drama degree when she discovered that the courtroom just wasn't for her.
Oh no, TV studio suits her way better.
Absolutely.
Today she is a TV presenter, model, and she plays Queen Ngondi on one of the best loved characters in South African soapies.
I feel like we're all created differently. We are all made for that specific purpose that you're here to fulfill. Whatever it is that you may do, but find what you love, find what you're passionate about, and basically it's what they say. I mean, it's everyone says it, but you won't work a day in your life if you're doing what you love. And for me, I loved acting. So it's your talent that will make a way for you always. So find what you love and pursue it.
Jessica Nkosi. I have to tell you, I was going through Facebook and I saw a magazine cover the other day, and I was like, oh, Beyonce's looking fierce. And then I looked again and I looked again, and then I realized, oh no, it's not
actually
Beyonce.
It's actually Jessica.
It's you.
You know, Beyonce, Jessica, same thing.
Stunning.
So going through the research, I came across a very interesting conversation that took place between you and your mother when she found out that you had a mishap at school, at varsity, and you now wanted to change course. But it's so interesting. Your mom sounded like a black mom.
Yes.
In that
What did she say?
What happened?
Basically, she was just like, yin layers, and what is that? Can you actually make something out of that? Is that even real? Is it a degree? And I'm like, yeah, it's a degree. She's like, no, it's either going to be a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or work in some clinic, but those are your options. No, we don't know anything else other than that. And I'm just like, nah, but you said you wanted me to get a degree, and there's a degree. So, and what she wanted was just, you know those pictures of you graduation day with the, basically that's what they want.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, if that's what you want, that's what you're gonna get.
She
basically.
got it. She looks fierce though, your mom.
Yeah, no, she's a typical black mom. We are she screams, but I love her.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then tell us about your first audition, where you got to an audition and you maneuvered a whole bunch of things to get to that audition. For 200.
Yeah, we're standing in line, a long line. We probably, I don't know, hundreds of people that day. And someone in the line goes, oh, I heard that this is just for a movie and apparently we're going to be paid like 200 rand. And some girls, you know, fierce-looking young ladies were just like, we're not having this, and walked away. And I'm just like, should I walk away? Shouldn't I? And it was just that battle. And I went alone. So I had no one to talk to and go, let's discuss this. What are we going to do? Am I staying? Am I leaving? So it was just me alone making the decision, what am I going to do? But the first thing that came to mind was, I don't know who's in that other room. It could be somebody that is going to see me and say, well, you're not going to get this part, but I'm doing this, so I am director at Generations and we're writing for this character and you're perfect. So I was just like, let me go. Whether I get it or not, it doesn't matter. It's only 200 rand, but I don't know who I'm going to meet.
Absolutely.
And funny enough, I walk in and I see Adze and Angus, and I had just watched a documentary on all the work that they've done.
So you'd recognize them.
So when I walked in, I was like, thank God I didn't leave, because even if I don't get this, I know what he's done. I know he's directed Yizo, so I know he directed Zone 14.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, these are the guys to speak to.
So it worked out
So
for you.
yes,
And
it
they
did.
were the guys to speak to.
Exactly, because then it wasn't a 200 rand movie.
No, it wasn't.
far
Tell us
from
what
it.
it was.
It was literally what is now the biggest soapy in South Africa. I mean, we've won countless soap after awards. And to think of my character, she was supposed to be there for about 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It was just a little character, but funny enough, they were just like, no, we have to have you stay. And 4 years later, I'm still in there.
You're obviously hard not to
Yeah.
fall in love with. Come on.
But I mean, you moved, I think, from Durban
Yes,
to Joburg,
to
and it was
Joburg.
obviously worth the risk. I think you won favourite
Yeah.
actress in the U magazine.
U Spectacular.
Oh my word, how amazing was that? Because the beautiful thing is that people vote.
Yeah.
It's not just a panel of 3 people saying, yeah, we think you are. No, it's the country,
country voting.
thinking, hey, we think you're good. We like your work.
Yeah.
It meant everything to me. And even the nomination, I was like, what? Somebody knows I exist? You joking. So yeah, it was my first time at the U Spectacular Awards as well.
Yeah.
I had never gotten an invitation. So I was like, oh.
Your career has accelerated quite rapidly, and so early. What are some of the misconceptions that are out there about you?
Oh my word. I think being an actress, people never know Jessica. So maybe when somebody meets me, they expect to see my character, and I am nothing like that girl.
Yeah.
You know, she's conservative. We don't even dress the same. Hell, she wouldn't show so much leg like I'm showing today. You know, we're so different. And when people meet me, it's just kind of like, you wear weaves? You wear red lipstick? Oh my word, you wear jeans? Oh, you wear booty shorts? And I'm just like, what? I'm a young lady. I just play an older woman. So that's usually the little type. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I read that when you moved to Joburg, you had quite a hard time, and are still having quite a hard time, like finding girlfriends, like finding a nice, strong group of mates, other than Nomzamo Mbata. Like, why do you think it's like that?
It's, you know what? First of all, in the industry we work in, you don't have time to make friends, first of all. So it's hard to get to know people because you literally, every day you're on set.
And
It's
you're
a
constantly
soapy.
meeting new people.
Exactly. So you can't then go somewhere to one event and you click with someone, you call them your best friend. You don't know that person.
Yeah.
She's not your friend. You can call her a friend, but she's not your friend. And we're in a soapy every single day, Monday to Friday, which means we on set Monday to Friday because we need to deliver. So basically, all you have is your family, your cousins that you call your friends. So when you say you have a friend, it's actually now it's your relative. They have to be your friend. So mostly, I have just my family members and then at work. So even if you do maybe get friends, you hardly can chill with them because it's just like, oh, you're never around. You're always traveling. You're always busy. You're just like, no, but it's not that.
But I do
think I'm
care. I
better.
do want to be your friend.
I do love you,
Yeah,
but I just
absolutely.
I gotta go work.
Absolutely.
So it kind of just everything just fizzles out on its own.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
And what do you make of the media's constant need to perpetuate this perception that there is a constant battle between the battle for the it girl and that there's and they like to pitch young
love
actresses
that,
against
hey?
each other
They-
or people in the limelight against
But
each
There's
other.
always
always
going
a
to be beef.
hunger.
Like if girls are friends, then they'll always say, no, there's beef between them. I remember
Yeah,
there was
because they
between
want
John
Or if we
and I,
work
they said
together,
this.
or if we work together, then we
Yeah.
must not get along.
Yeah. Give me a
because
flavour.
maybe we all. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I
use
do.
that. I guess it's because it's what I say though is there's enough for everybody, but
Yeah.
they don't want us to realize or know that. They want to say no. Oh, there's a new girl. Oh, she's out gunning
Yeah.
for you. If you want this job, you know you're gonna be against her. And it's just like calm down.
Yeah.
There's enough for everybody, and we all have different talents, and we all have different looks. And if they want something, a role or something for a character, you may not. Sometimes it's who you are, not really what you look like.
Yeah,
And,
of
we're
course,
all just so
always.
different, and I don't get it. But I mean, they need to write stuff for their jobs as well. I mean, they're journalists. What can we do? It's not like they're going to
Absolutely.
stop.
Yeah,
So I guess you, as a person, need to develop a backbone to know that this is going to come. They're going to do it. They're going to pin you up against somebody and try create things, but overlook it.
You just move on.
It's not
Absolutely.
worth. It's not
Yeah.
worth. All the pain
time.
and the
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome celebrating great female dynamics and partnerships and friendships. And you are certainly kicking it with girl power, as we saw on Tropica,
Yes.
Island of Treasure Seychelles.
We're going
I'm
to
all
chat
about
about that
that.
in a bit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some of the images. Now, basically on social media, we're asking you if you could pick one celebrity to represent you in court, who would it be and why? Let's see what you've had to say. Karabo Ngwenya says, Masashaba Ndlovu, that lady is fierce and dynamic. True. And then Nomti says, probably Bonnie and Booley. I just love her persona, calm, cool, and she has that thing. Let me tell you, if I ever end up in jail, I want her to be next to me.
That is so sweet. I'll make a cool inmate. After the break, we're back with Jessica to chat about her time on Tropica Island of Treasure, Seychelles. We'll be right back.
Sea Harvest. New look, same great taste.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express this glorious Tuesday afternoon. Now, Tropica Island of Treasure Seychelles is in full swing, and if you've been watching, you will know that after a hard-fought challenge, Team Jessica was eliminated during last night's episode.
And Jessica and her teammate Savannah are here today to talk to us about their entire experience. Welcome, Savannah.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to have you with us.
So you guys just connected instantly. It was like a match made in heaven. Tell us about that selection and then meeting each other for the first time.
All I knew is that I have to get with Jessica and I'm going to the island. I'm not discussing it with any of my competitors. I even told them, go home, it is over.
Really?
I'm telling you. I was intimidating everybody. This is my show.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
And then what was it like when you met? How did you feel when you met her for the first time, Jess?
I mean, literally, she walked in and I was just like, she owned the space. She walked towards me and I'm just like, oh, hi. She's like, my name's Savannah. I'm like, Savannah's in these Savannah's? Like, yes, that's Savannah. So first of all, that was the big joke. I'm like, are we laughing about it? And she had a lovely book for me with just with pictures of to prove how fit she is and how much she's done. And I was like, girl, yes. She had that book to prove it, and I still have it today, actually. I don't think I'll ever throw it away. And basically, she's lovely and she's talkative.
Nice to know.
Yes. She's lovely and she's talkative, and she was just easy to get along with. And I go very quickly with people's spirit, nice. You know, so you can just tell, you're just like, she's such a kind heart.
Absolutely.
You know, no shady things underneath that she's trying to achieve. It's just like, you know what, I'm here and I just want to win this thing.
Yeah,
You know,
open.
But then obviously you are
Transparent.
that fit and you are quite, I think you guys are very, like, determined.
Yes.
And you went into this game very determined. But do you think that because you were an all-girl team, that you had to fight a little bit harder and be a little bit more aggressively ambitious within the game? Like, what was your strategy?
I feel like, obviously, the other teams were just like, oh, these are just two girls. Why can be so hard? So if there's a challenge that needs strength, it's like, we know these two are going to be last, you know, whatever. But she is literally a fireball. She would intimidate the guys. Siv is scared of her.
But
Let's
those
just start there.
outfits.
Those outfits were like amazing.
Right? Well, first of all, we had to wear yellow
They were the
because
ones.
we decided we're going to stick to our color and just play around with the dresses, the costumes, the crop tops.
So no matter what you guys were doing, you just looked so cute.
You look fantastic. That's why Siv couldn't focus. Siv isn't scared of her. He's distracted by those outfits. It was a little crop and a little this and such amazing
Her
bodies.
little tights and waltzing about.
Tell us about that rigorous puzzle challenge that just messed with everybody and you ended up coming second.
That took us an hour.
Yeah, it was about an hour.
Really?
What people didn't see as well, because obviously they couldn't play the whole hour of us being.
Yeah.
There were times we were just like, no.
It's not going to work.
Get us another challenge.
We heard
can't
that.
do this.
Yeah, we heard that when you guys eventually got it right, the crew and everyone went, oh.
Yes.
At least, no, they were tired. I'm sure that the cameramen were just like shaking. We were hungry. It was past lunch, and we're just like, I'm hungry. I'm thirsty, and this thing is just not coming together. I was so frustrated. And then at the last minute, where we just like, all right, let's just calm down and breathe and calmly do this, and we got it.
But I had so much faith in you when I saw that, because that takes a lot of brain, especially when it's hot and you're tired and you're hungry.
It shows that we were the intelligent
But then
ones.
explain to me, like, what happened when you went on a wild goose chase? Well, let's call it a wild sugar chase.
For sugar.
Were you guys like were you in the mood for a little
What was
sugar rush,
going on?
or what was going on?
Or, I mean, were you guys just being perfectionists and then you ended up actually just, that was
Did
just
it
that?
cost you the game?
Yeah.
There's so
did
much
cost that.
pressure because you get the map, and the thing is, you don't read it. You're
like, okay,
take
thanks, bye.
Yes, you get the ingredients, and you're just like, okay, I need to get all these ingredients, and you don't read the fine print that says these you need to get. These are supplied. It's only later where I went,
I know.
let's go cook because we don't need the sugar. It's already like, oh, first of all, they don't have clover and Seychelles. It's only in South Africa. We were just, it was so frustrating. I hated watching it. I was watching like this, I'm just like, oh.
And obviously that caught you by surprise, that point of the game where you were like, oh my gosh, this is it.
Actually don't. Yeah. Oh my God. I wanted to die.
did
You
you
must
feel?
be so depressed,
I
especially
wanted
because you
to
were
die.
so
Oh my goodness.
competitive.
Yes, I don't like it. I'm not a sore loser. I'm just not used to losing.
Yeah.
I wanted to die. My heart dropped.
Wow.
Shame.
For sugar.
Sorry.
And I was fighting with the guy in the shop to give me a discount on the sugar.
Oh my goodness.
So like, I want the sugar cheaper. Like, bring the price down.
Yeah. But you guys obviously bonded not only with each other but with all the other teams. Can you please tell us who you're personally rooting for? Are you allowed to?
Who are we personally? Do you want to say?
No shade. I mean, you're not throwing shade
obviously.
at
I would
anyone.
say who I'm
They're
supporting.
people
That
you-
is
We have
me.
our favourites.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going
I
to
don't want
bring
the others
it
to
down
win
now.
either. I'm just like,
Yeah,
I'm
like-
gone.
But my favorite is Siv and Kabonita, but I can still take Siv on any day. He better
Yeah.
recognize.
Yeah.
And Anga and Bongs.
Bongs.
Those
Okay.
are the two people.
My favorite team was MT and Jackson. I
were
still
so
want
cute.
them to
We had them
magically.
here last week.
I want them to magically come back somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know, some sort of
Yeah.
return thing, and they try this again.
Yeah, let's
they
do it
were
again.
And for a
amazing.
hardcore rapper, I keep saying MT was so adorable. And he's
He's
just,
just
so chill.
He was so
They're
cute.
Just like,
We
oh,
said we
man.
don't mean to offend you, but you are actually so adorable.
Yeah.
We loved
Yeah.
him.
And what
He
did he
is.
say? He was like, nah.
just like,
Y'all know, man. Y'all know what it is.
was hard to lose it.
Thank you so much, ladies. Congratulations on a game well played. Now, don't forget to watch the next exciting episode of Tropica Island of Treasure Seychelles next week, Monday on SABC3 at 7:30. Remember, you can also win by purchasing a Tropica and following the entry details on the bottle. You stand a chance of winning incredible daily, weekly prizes and the grand prize of a Kia Sportage. Find T's and C's on tropica.co.za.
After the break, we turn our attention to Lindy Hani, the daughter of Chris Hani, who recently released the most amazing book of her life story. You definitely don't want to miss this.
Let's go. Yo, Anga. Carlene, where you at?
Let's go to the island. Stand together, you and me. We can win this million. We're gonna find treasure by the smooth.
Yeah.
The Tropica Island of Treasure Seychelles theme song performed by MT, Anga Makubalo and Carlene van Jasveld is available for you for download. It's on iTunes and the Google Play Store. Proceeds from the song will be donated to Chuck. You can also win big when you buy Tropica. Simply follow the entry details on your Tropica bottle and find the T's and C's at tropica.co.za.
Ain't nothing smooth.
A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. Thank you so much for joining us. Growing up as the daughter of a powerful and well-known father comes with its fair share of challenges. And for Lindy Hani, being the daughter of one of the most prolific political figures in South African history, who she lost at a young age, meant that her childhood was far from a walk in the park.
Yeah, she recently released the biography of her life, being Chris Hani's daughter, along with author Melissa Ferguson. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you for having me.
What a book. I mean, firstly, it must have been so cathartic, I suppose, just to put everything down onto the pages.
It was, and I think that's why I did it. I always say that I always knew it was going to be published, but I think as I was going through the process, it was almost like a Dear Diary thing, you know?
Yeah.
I wanted to get everything down so I can close it and then move on with my next chapter. It was almost like I wanted to put all the ghosts to bed.
Absolutely, yeah. Tell us about your relationship with your father. It's a magical, I mean, when you look at the cover of the book, you know that this is at the center of your childhood and just your idea of family and love.
Yeah, I always think that if he was alive now, would I still feel the same way? And I know that I would, you know.
Absolutely.
I always say that he ruined me for all men because he was such an amazing guy, you know. I think he was also ahead of his time in terms of being a father. You know, he was hands-on. My mom would say that even when we were young, he would go, remember the cloth nappies. So he would go hang nappies, but only if the comrades weren't around. If the comrades were around, then he'd be like, no, Dimpo, this is women's work. But he was just, and you know, one thing that amazed me about Daddy was that it never felt like he resented the fact that he only had 3 girls. He used to always tell us that, you know, you girls are even better than boys. You can do anything you want to do, you know.
That's incredible.
And I think that's why we grew up so stubborn and a bit crazy. I mean, I loved him.
What fascinated me was how protected you were growing up and how old were you when you realized who your father was?
It was, I got hints just after ANC was unbanned and we moved to South Africa. Like, I remember accompanying him to a rally in Mthatha. Yeah. And everyone was losing their minds, screaming, Hani, Hani. And to such an extent that they even let me go on stage, raise my little fist and go, Amanda, and the crowd went crazy just because I'm his daughter. And then I realized, but it was really after he died, then it hit me about how large he was. He was larger than life. Absolutely. But because before then, he was just my nerdy father. You know, he would come home and say embarrassing things, you know, dance embarrassingly, you know. So I didn't get the hype.
Yeah,
I didn't get the hype.
But like, it was so crazy when like you were obsessed with the little girl from the Huxtables, and when you answered your phone, you got into more trouble than what a normal child would have for answering that. And then like your family holidays, like to Russia, was actually for him to go and learn how to be, you know, part of the MK. Like, and you didn't know. You lived in this blissful unawareness.
I didn't, and you know, it's so much credit to my parents.
Yeah.
Because they made it seem everything was like an adventure, you know?
Yeah.
And it was, I don't remember him not being a part of my life. Like, I always say that it felt like I spoke to Daddy every day, but I know in reality I didn't. My mother made sure that he was such a presence that even in the sort when we misbehave, he'd be like, I'm going to tell your father. And we would all be like, sorry, mommy, sorry, don't tell Daddy, you know? Because he was such a huge presence in our lives. Yeah. So they did that for us. They made it always seem like we were a complete family even when we weren't. And so when we go on these holidays, even though it was work for him, he always, I think it's the quality time we spent as a family. Like, we'd make sure we played board games, we'd make sure he swam with us, he'd paddleboard, he would just, he would just be around, he'd just be a great guy. Yeah.
What was the impact of realizing that you were a very important family and you were at the center of a war and that there were a couple of assassination attempts on your family? That feeling of we're in danger and somebody is constantly trying to kill us.
It's the same thing. I mean, like, I remember being told we're not allowed to go to South Africa. And when I was young, I mean, I'm so embarrassed to say that I thought South Africa was overseas. And the sort of smack was surrounded. My friends would be like, oh, they're going to Ladybrand. And I think, how rich are these guys? You know, they just fly overseas every weekend. So we didn't know. And I remember them saying that, I remember there was one situation where we were flying to Zambia. And normally we went via Botswana. But for the first time, we landed in Windhoek. Yeah. And at that time, Windhoek was part. So I remember my mother saying, whatever you do, don't make eye contact. Just sit still. We're not getting off this plane. And I was an extroverted child. And I remember having to sit still while she grabbed my hand as the police came to the plane and looked around, because we're not meant to be in this country, and they would have arrested us. So it was those little things, but still, as much as I sensed the danger, I would just sooner ignore it as soon as I saw my father.
Right.
How many assassination attempts were there before the final one?
I cannot tell you. I know that in Lesotho, there were at least 2 car bombings. I know that there was, even when we were around South Africa, there was one on Small Street. I cannot tell you. I think there were a few in Zambia. I don't know. Wow. I don't know. That's why when I first heard, when my mom first told me that Daddy's been shot, I was like, so what?
Yeah.
Which hospital is he in?
Yeah.
And to hear the finality that, no, this time he's been shot dead. And the drive, because I was in Lesotho with my mom, and the drive to Joburg, it was just that 4-hour drive thinking, this is impossible.
Yeah.
You don't slay a giant.
You speak of a moment when you ran into the house and you held Kwezi, your sister, and you said you guys just cried for what seemed like forever. And you felt like you'd never stop crying.
Yeah, because seeing her, it was real, you know? Because there was still a part of me that just thought everyone is blowing this out of proportion and he's okay. But when I saw her and she ran to us, and then she just hugged me and we just, you know, stayed in that position all night, just crying and crying and crying. It just felt like our whole world was shattered and that we'd never, ever recover from this.
You don't slay a giant.
No.
Your dad, I think, would be so proud to see the woman that you are sitting right here with us.
Absolutely.
You're amazing. We're going to take a quick ad break, I think.
Yeah. Well, we're not done. We're going to have more to chat about when we return.
Say yes to the Smart Snack.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. And of course, we're sitting on the couch with the fantastic Lindy Hani, chatting about her new book, Being Chris Hani's Daughter.
Yeah.
A great read.
So that moment when you knew your life would never be the same again and it felt like the bottom had fallen out of your world, life went on, and coupled with what you describe as a mother with a deep rage and those years of feeling lost and how they pummeled you into addiction. And that first moment when you took that first line of coke, how did that feel? What was it about it that just sucked you in?
I felt invincible. You know, I felt I didn't have to be who I am. I didn't have to be this scared, meek girl who was scared of the world, you know. Initially, it felt that I was powerful. Like all the things that I think through years of trauma was chipped away from me, like self-confidence and all those kind of things. Initially, though, that's what the coke gave me. But then down the line, it just made me completely arrogant and obnoxious and just a terrible person to be around, you know? So it was the initial lie. I always say it was the initial lie that lured me in, that I can be whoever I want to be. But the lie was, no, you can't, because you're completely high on drugs.
Wow.
Now, your sister was the first person to see your father after he had just been shot. And I think, so her life also just spiraled. It must have been very hard on her as well. But did the two of you kind of cling to each other? And I mean, was there any kind of support? Because I think there's so much going on, but did you guys as a family ever process what's going on and ever deal with it? Or did just the two of you just like kind of spiral out of control?
Do you know, we were immediately told as children, which is something that I still resent to this day. Like I hate the words that when people die, you have to be strong. I never want to hear that again, because I was told you have to be strong. The country's watching you. You know, wow. Don't cry. Wow. Now you're telling this to like children who just lost their father in a very public and gruesome way. So we were told not to cry, basically chin up, you know, and keep going forward. Yeah. So we didn't process it. We didn't process it as a family. And there was a number of years where we didn't even talk about it. It took a long time for us to even talk about my dad in happy times. Like, do you remember when Daddy did this? It was just like we didn't want to acknowledge the fact that he existed in our lives. And you think, but don't forget, my sister and I were 18 months apart. No, we fought. Okay, yeah. We fought. We physically fought. We were antagonistic to each other. But I mean, we'd mutually get together, of course, to fight the force that's my mother. Yeah. But other than that, we were at each other's throats. Yeah. That's why when I got the opportunity to leave Joburg, I was like, yes, I'm going to take it.
Now, you've known a lot of loss in your life, from your father to your first serious boyfriend, to then Nkosi, who was very dear to you. How did you reconcile all that loss?
I self-medicated. I completely self-medicated. After Skuluda died, I went on this whole binge of sleeping pills and antidepressants mixed with the alcohol and weed that I was already smoking at varsity. So I was a complete disaster. So when Nkosi died just over a year later, I said to myself that I don't want to deal with it like that. So instead I held on to the rage of how she died. You know, I wanted answers about where she was, what she was doing, and I wasn't getting those answers. So instead I chose to hold on to the rage as opposed to deal with the fact that my sister had died. So it was only now, years later, when I entered rehab, and I spoke about the fact that I didn't want to admit that because he died. Wow. So as a result, only now I'm processing that, and over 10 years later, I'm finally mourning the loss of my sister.
I want to hug you, because I read that you're still not happy with what the autopsy said.
Yeah.
But also to go into rehab as a Hani, I'm so proud that you did that, because I think it must be so difficult going in and having to fight that on your own and then still having this family name that is obviously so heavy on your shoulders.
You know, I was very clear that I wanted to go in as a Hani, because I just felt that was a lot of my issues, that I'm living a lie under this huge name in South Africa, and I didn't know how to process it. So, but initially, when you go into rehab, you don't share your surname. It's like, hi, I'm Lindy, I'm an addict. But then when you tell your life story, there were a few older people who clicked And they're like, oh my God, are you Chris Hani's daughter? And then I needed to shut it down. So when they said, are you Chris Hani's daughter? I said, yes, but I'm an addict first. And after that, everybody just left me alone. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I'd found a place I belong. You know, there was just no judgment, it was just support, and we were all on the same playing field.
Yeah. Do you feel like you've reconciled those two worlds, the concept that the world has of you or that the country has of you, and the kind of daughter, woman that they expect you to be, and the woman who wants to live life on her terms, who says this is my life to mess up or to win. These are my decisions to make. Have those two people reconciled? Have they become one?
I think through this journey is happening organically, because I feel like I'm finally becoming the woman that I've always wanted to be, and I feel that by coming clean to the South African public, as it may, that I'm living my truth, and as a result, they are respecting that. So maybe the woman they expect me to be is happening. And it's just, you know, there's so much freedom in honesty.
Absolutely.
And I've lived the biggest lie. And it was one of those known secrets, you know. Everybody knew that there was something wrong with me, you know, but it was not spoken about. It was always these hushed whispers in the corridors.
I know that we don't have time for another question, but I have to ask you. You confronted your father's killers. I mean, why, firstly? And what was it like?
It was that thing. I wanted to change the narrative. The narrative has always been that these guys are haunting my dreams. They took away the most important person, and I'm living in fear. So I always felt that in the same way, they were keeping me imprisoned. And I just wanted to stop feeling and being at their mercy. So when I met Walush, and I saw him, and because of the NA program where you look at the similarities as opposed to the differences, it's weird to say, I've come to like him, you know, and as a result, I have finally let go of the pain, you know. I haven't gone to forgiveness yet, but I've chosen to accept his version of events and also his apology, so that I am not held prisoner by anger and resentment, because it keeps me sick.
Wow. I am so honored and inspired that you wrote this book and that you are telling the story. We really believe it's going to change people's lives.
I'm so honored to meet you. And it's been such an amazing interview. Thank you so much for being here. It's an absolute privilege.
Thank you, ladies. I love the set.
Oh, we love you. You can love having you. You can stay. We're keeping you. You want to be our bestie.
But you make us cry. It's time for our Afternoon Explore series, where we try out some of the hottest spots and activities in the country. Our very own Clement Pedro has a few tricks up his sleeve when it comes to making his girlfriend Megan happy. Instead of the usual dinner-lit table dates, Clem decided to take her to the Clay Cafe, where they got their hands dirty.
Taking your partner out for a dinner date just isn't enough anymore. It needs to be more creative, more messy, which is exactly why we are here at Clay Cafe for a one-of-a-kind type of date. And being a date, I had to bring Megan, my better half. Sorry, Mike, that's not you. But Mike, what exactly am I doing here?
This is a process called slip casting. We use this liquid clay and pour it into a mold. The liquid clay gets into the areas which gives it an obscure shape. That way we can get the handle and everything on this jug in one go.
That's pretty interesting.
Once it's set, we pour all the excess clay back out, and that can be used again on the next jug. Once we've poured that out, we wait for about 2 to 4 hours for it to set and be hard enough to actually take out of the mold.
Perfect. So, is this the only method that you use?
No, it's not. We have another method which we use for round shapes. We've got a round mold and a cutting tool.
Awesome. Can we have a look at that?
Okay, so here we've got a jigger machine. As you can see here, the inside of the mold is perfectly round. And here we've got a cutting tool. So all you need to do is grab a piece of clay, put it inside, and let's give it a spin.
I'm definitely doing this one. Okay, so I pop it in here, so literally all the way around.
That's perfect.
So do I pull this down?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to start spinning. Perfect. Okay, cool. It's ready to cut now.
And then just pull it along like this?
Yeah.
And then
all the excess pops off.
Whoa, this looks so cool. Great. How do we do, Mike? Perfect.
Cool. So you can put this on the drying rack.
Sure.
And you can pass me the finished one.
Oh, this one right here. There you go.
Cool. So this is the finished product.
Wow.
Wow, okay, let's pretend that that's how my one actually looks.
So that's your one. Do you think we should go take a look at the one that I've made?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Wow. Well, this is really impressive.
Cool, so here we have a finished jug, but unfortunately it's not strong enough to paint yet. So let's grab this and your bowl and take it over to the kilns.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you take this out. Is that okay?
Yes, I know how clumsy you are.
Let's go.
Cool, so these are the kilns where we actually fire the products, and this will make your items strong enough so that you can paint them. So let's load them in.
This is where things get really heated.
Okay guys, so this is gonna take a while. So I'm gonna leave you two to go down to the cafe because I'm starting to feel like a little bit of a third wheel.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Chris. I brought some things for you to paint this morning.
Thank you.
I'm going to give you some quick and easy techniques to make it really easy.
So I must ask, it's quite noisy and vibey. Is it always like this?
It definitely gets very busy and vibey every weekend and during school holidays.
Great, so where to begin? What are some of the techniques we can actually use when it comes to painting these ceramics?
So it's important to get a nice even coat of paint. You don't want it too thick.
Combining good food and pottery is quite a unique concept. How did this come about?
So we now have this concept where catering for the whole family because there's something for everybody, the eating, the playing, and the painting. So we have the whole concept all together and it's kind of taken off and everybody's loving it. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to use a stencil. You have to choose something the right shape to accommodate the curve on your pot. So this is nice and small, and then you just actually dab the paint and you just pop it on, really easy, take it off and you've got a lovely design.
That's so beautiful.
Oh guys, your food's arriving, so I'm going to leave you now and you can get on with your date.
All right, so before we tuck into this amazing food, you have to give me a comment. What do you think?
It's cute, babe.
I think it's quite original. I really love what you done. I love the little crest that you have on there.
I kept it very plain.
I love it. So I'll catch up with you in studio while we finish this date.
I mean, can we say hashtag couple goals?
How romantic. When are you putting a ring on it?
Bonnie, why are you
He's still young, man. He doesn't
He's
have
not
to rush.
still young.
He is.
I just turned 30. No, we're good. On our journey, yes.
The food looked amazing.
It looked amazing.
And how amazing, a place that serves amazing food and like you get to be creative, like create your own little pottery. It was really amazing.
You know,
Let's
let's check it
behind
out.
her like that, and then you like work.
We
the
wanted
pots
to do
together.
that.
like-
However, the machinery was like not cut out for that.
Why, what's that song from Ghost? What is it? Okay, I can't remember.
But you said there's a giant trampoline for the kids.
I'd say for
So
the
I'm
kids,
definitely
however,
gonna take
I
it
had
as-
to I just hold myself back. It literally is a giant trampoline. Like adults go crazy. It's a lot of fun,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, so romantic.
Well,
Thanks
well
for
done.
sharing,
Looks
Deb.
very,
Yeah.
very good.
Looks
Which one do you think is
beautiful. Looks
mine?
so professional. I think.
I thought you brought them for
I think
us.
yours is the jug, isn't
It
it? Yours
is.
The jug? Yeah, yeah. You're very colourful.
You've got nice,
Very
you've got nice
vibrant.
jugs.
Oh, thank you.
We haven't forgotten about the kitchen. After the break, we're joined by guest chef Chiara Turilli, and she's got the perfect sweet treat to make your mom for Mother's Day coming up.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, it's Mother's Day really soon, and I think it's a good idea for you to show your mum how much she means to you by nominating her in the 2017 Clicks Mom of the Year Awards. Now, your incredible mum deserves to feel good, and the winner will receive a 10,000 Rand Clicks gift card, plus nominators and their mums will each win a full day's pampering experience and Mangawani Spa, hair and styling from Sorbet, and a mum's night out experience at New Metro Cinemas, and a one-night stay at a Cape Town City Lodge near you. Now, enter your mum. Visit clicks.co.za, Clicks South Africa on Facebook, or at Clicks_SA on Twitter, and share what makes your mum so special. Entries close on the 30th of April 2017. And now, speaking about lovely Mother's Day treats, Bonnie and Chiara in their kitchen.
Absolutely. Welcome back. Chiara, you look gorgeous.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what are we making today?
Today we're making melting moments.
Melting moments. That's so perfect for Mummy's Day.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wish my boys were old enough to cook and bake and stuff.
Just show them,
But
teach
yeah,
them.
this will be my Mother's Day's treat.
Okay, good. Cool, let's get started. So basically what we're going to start with is room temperature butter. Like I always say to people, especially with this recipe, it's not a normal pastry recipe, it's biscuits. You want it to be super soft. So then when you whip it up, then it becomes nice, light and fluffy. You can pass me the flour, please.
Flour.
And the icing sugar.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
This one in the sieve?
No, that's for last.
That's for last.
That's for your sprinkling action at the end. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
They look similar.
I know they do. The corn flour and the icing sugar look exactly the same.
Okay, cool.
So you just whip that. So what I say is, ooh, that's quite exciting. It's like magic.
Yeah.
So I normally just whip everything for 5 to 7 minutes. Just get it nice and creamy. We've done it a little bit before just to get everything moving.
Yeah. And then we add the flour.
Yes. So we're just going to do that. Just get it going. And I always just open this up. It's always easier. It's a super, super easy recipe. And I think that's why I always say to people, like, you can teach your children, you can teach your friends.
Yeah. It better be super easy because we actually literally have about 2 minutes left to make this.
No, we can do this. We got this. So you just mix that up very quickly. You can see it starts to come together. And I think don't worry if it looks dry because it is a dry biscuit.
Yeah.
It's melt in your mouth. It's got that beautiful texture. So we're almost done. You can see it. Perfect.
Okay, cool.
So now what we do is we just take a teaspoon.
Yeah.
Scoop out that much. So it's looking like half a teaspoon. And you can see when you roll it, it's not sticking to your hands.
Okay, awesome.
So it's like super magic.
So we bake them for how long?
Bake them for 15 minutes on about 160. And you can see here, this is what we come out with.
This is what we come out with. And how do we join them together? With lemon curd?
So I obviously make, this is my own homemade lemon curd, of course, but you can buy it. So I think if you don't have time, you want to quickly do it when you wake up in the morning for your mom.
Okay.
Just buy it, all good. So I just sandwich them together.
Right.
And after that, I put them in the fridge, but I lay them down like that.
Okay, so they go a bit hard and then they come out looking something like that.
Exactly.
So obviously you sprinkle, what do we have here?
This is white chocolate.
White
so
chocolate.
this is when you can literally just impress people. And you could just do this.
Wow.
It's not the cleanest thing, but it's always fun.
Amazing. We are running out of time, Sarah, but not before I invite everybody into the kitchen to come and taste these moments.
We're here.
Do you want to go for it?
I will. You're going to have to ask me twice.
Yes.
Me and food.
Now I'm watching all of your faces. I want real responses. Honesty.
Okay. Now this recipe can be found on our website. Go ahead and surprise your mom on Mommy's Day. Thank you so much, ladies, for joining us today. What an incredible, inspiring time we've had.
Yeah. Incredible woman on today's show. I love today's show. It's actually my favorite. Thank you very much. And how are they? Are they delicious?
Oh,
my eyes are
I'm watching.
I have to give them to my kids.
Yes. Well, your kids are here. They can have all of them, actually. And of course, we're going to be back again tomorrow, same time, same place on Afternoon Express. And it's our cook-along. We've got Jay Something in the loft, and he's going to be whipping up something deliciously Portuguese-y in the kitchen. Until then, good night and happy eating.
Join the Afternoon Express cook-along tomorrow with musician and celebrity chef. It's Jay Something. And we'll be making one of his favorite Portuguese classics, peri-peri chicken livers.